My client was very happy that she rented her brand new apartment in Dubai within just a week time. Just a few weeks after, the apartment had been turned into a party house, and the case ended up in the court. Imagine you rent out your new apartment, you're happy, everything looks perfect. But within a few weeks, you realize that you've let scammers in. And the happy story turns into a nightmare. Let me tell you how it happened to us, so you don't repeat our mistakes. Well, frankly speaking, red flags started popping out from the beginning, but we just ignored them. When I came to the building to collect the payments from the tenant and to hand over the keys and everything, I expected to see a Pakistani tenant whose name was in the contract. Instead, two Egyptian guys showed up. They claimed to be his employers, and they said that they will pay the deposit and the rental payment on his behalf. Well, it sounded more secure this time because the person who pays your salary pays your rent. What can be wrong with that? That should be a good sign, right? Wrong. It actually was the first red flag. Here where things got more tricky. The landlord was a non-resident, so no residency, no bank account in the UAE. So we agreed that the first payment and the deposit will be in cash, and the second installment they would have to transfer to her UK bank account. And we also agreed that the rent will be paid in 6 installments. And this was the second red flag. Scammers will always try to push for as many payments as they can, checks or installments, so they can pay the smallest payment upfront and then disappear. When the second payment came due, the tenant didn't show up. So we gave him a call. And his answer was like, "Which apartment are you talking about?" This was another moment when the alarm bells went off. When we asked him when would he pay, his answer was, "I will let you know." And from that day, he would never answer again. As per the law, we sent an authorized eviction notice. No action was followed, of course, but a few weeks after, the landlord, who was overseas, received a call from the building management. They were complaining about the parties happening in her apartment day and night and just different people coming in and out. So now things got clear. The tenant was not a tenant at all. He probably never stayed in the apartment himself, but turned it into a party house, subletting it to different people. So what are the takeaways from this story? Number one, a stranger shows up instead of your actual tenant. So even if they claim that they're employers or relatives or friends or whatsoever, it's a red flag. Number two, they push for as many checks as possible with very little payment upfront. This is not necessarily a red flag because it can be genuine. You know, if your tenant is genuine and just wants to negotiate as many checks as possible, this is quite a normal thing to do. However, take it into consideration when all the other factors are involved. Number three, if the payment don't come in time, don't wait, act fast. Because what started as a happy story turned out into a nightmare, and it took 6 months to get resolved. Actually, we found out that there was an Egyptian gang involved into this case, which actually scammed a lot of people in the same building, and I'm pretty sure this is not the only building that they operated in. So after negotiating very little upfront payment with the landlord, they were subleasing the apartments to working ladies, you know what I'm talking about, as well as low-key tenants from Airbnb. And by the way, after you win the case with the rental dispute center, there is no guarantee that you will receive your money back. That was the case in our story because tenant just disappeared. He probably was out of the country, has nothing to arrest here in the UAE. So there is no way that you will ever see your money again. Dubai has a reputation of the safest city in the world, and this is true. However, there is a downside to this. When people become too relaxed and non-vigilant, that makes scammers' jobs way easier. Guys, seriously, evicting a tenant in Dubai is no joke. It took us 6 months and a lot of stress to go through it, and there was no financial reimbursement in the end. And by the way, if you're not in the UAE, buckle up because it will be even more challenging for you to raise the case and to go through all the formalities. Every step will cost you money, from filing the case in the RDC to the lawyers to the paperwork. For every step you will have to pay. And after you're done and you have the court decision, you will have to file the execution case, which will also cost you money. And remember this, nothing is really online. It means even to file the case, you will have to physically go to the RDC or do it through the lawyer. It means extra expenses. In our case, I got a power of attorney from the landlord, so I was presenting his interests throughout the entire case. And after we applied for the execution, we heard nothing from the court, nothing from the lawyers, and no actions were taken. And we never saw the money. Now let me share another story which happened to my own apartment that I was renting out through one of the local property portals, short-term. So one guy contacted me by WhatsApp saying that he wants to book the apartment for a month. He sent me the receipt of the bank transfer, so I sent him an email confirmation. Gave him the PIN code from the loc so he can access the apartment. But hours passed, then a day, no money showed up in my account. He even sent me his Emirates ID that I did not bother to save, And that was my mistake, because he had his disappearing messages timer on. After I messaged him asking where the money was, he told me that since the payment was done through the corporate account, so it will take longer. Next day, money didn't arrive, so I texted him flat. I said, listen, if the money doesn't land to my account as soon as possible, I would need to meet you and collect the cash. He kind of agreed, but straight after he sent me a screenshot as if it was coming from his partner in his business, saying the following. Bro, our trade license is being updated, so our account is on hold for 2 weeks. At this point, I freaked out. I was done. I told him to get out of my property immediately. He called me straight after giving me the whole sympathy speech, promising to give the cash tomorrow. Guess what? Tomorrow came, no cash, no reply. The next day I received an email from him saying that he had an emergency back home and he had to urgently go back to Pakistan. And that was it. Another scammer. So what the morals of the story? No 100% confirmed money, no kiss, ever. Always save all the documents, IDs, WhatsApp messages, emails, because if you will have to go legal, you will need a proof. And remember, there is no guarantee that you will get your money back. These people are professionals, and these schemes are well practiced. Well, compared to the first case, I was actually lucky because I ended up with a guy enjoying my apartment for just a few days for free. But I can imagine what would happen if I gave him a long-term lease. So if you found this video useful, guys, drop a comment to support the channel. Or if you ever faced up anything similar, I would appreciate if you share your stories in the comments as well. And share this video with your friends, whether they're landlords or they're just thinking of buying property in Dubai, so they avoid such situations in the future. By the way, guys, if you want a step-by-step guide on how to evict the tenant in Dubai, I shared the PDF file under this video, so you can download it by the link. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.